I know that you're closed, but just let me in.
Sorry, ma'am, but we are already closed.
I don't care. I'll break down this door if I have to.
But I don't even work here. I don't have the keys to open. Now, for every like this video gets, one Karen will be left hanging outside and banned from the stores around the world. So please, smash that thumbs up and notification buttons. To the story. Lady smashes glass door because I won't let her inside business I don't work at. My best friend and roommate works for a small independent print shop as a graphic designer. We live in the burbs and the shop is located downtown, about half an hour from our house. Oftentimes, I will be downtown for an appointment of some kind and will ride home with her rather than take the train. Usually by 4 p.m., the only people left in the shop are her and a specific coworker, so I'll just hang out in the front area of the shop with my laptop. At 5 p.m., they lock the door and then both of them gather their things up over the next 15 to 20 minutes before actually leaving. They're often out of sight, packing up in the back. Last Friday was one such day. At around 5:10, a lady came up to the door of the shop, a glass door. She saw me sitting there and started tapping on the door. I looked up and mouthed, "The shop is closed." She yelled back,
I have a question.
I pointed at my wrist and said loudly, "I'm sorry, the shop closes at 5 and I don't work here." She grabbed the handle on the door and started shaking it as if she could magically make the door open, and then started pounding on the door again. So I set down my laptop and walked over to the door. She screamed,
I only have one question. Can you let me in so I can talk to you?
At this point, screaming was really not necessary as we were only separated by a glass door. I said, "Ma'am, I don't work here, and the door is locked from the inside by a key I don't have. I can't let you in."
She screamed, Why are you being such a butthole? I know you're closed, but it's one question.
Then, to emphasize her point, she slammed her open palm on the glass door, which absolutely shattered. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. It's not like it cracked and spider-webbed out. It just went to shards and fell to the ground. Fortunately, I had stepped back. The lady blinked in shock and then started to speed walk away. Fortunately, we are in a massive metropolitan city and I was able to follow her only half a block before I saw a police officer standing on the street. The officer walked us both back to the shop with the woman ranting about how it wasn't her fault and if I had just let her in, blah blah blah. She called for backup and 2 more officers arrived, and by this time, my friend and her coworker had come up front. They took another officer back to look at the security footage, which is digitally captured, and that was pretty much that. The lady got arrested on the spot and I had to give a statement, and I'm told I will probably have to testify in court on behalf of the shop owner to get a civil penalty added onto criminal charges and help them avoid small claims, which I will gladly do. TLDR, lady sees me sitting inside a closed business, won't take no for an answer about let inside, and smashes the glass door in anger. I bet the question was like, "Can I print this one thing real quick? I'm inside now anyways, it'll only take a minute." On to the second post by u/Rock'n'Yule. I just want my coffee. Obligatory. This happened about 3.5 months ago. I work as a management consultant at a firm where we travel to companies and businesses to improve their organization in certain areas. I won't get into the details of the work as it does not matter in this case. I have been at the company, we'll call ABC for security, for about a week, meeting with the management team to gather information in order to start analyzing the potential risk areas. Note the building that we're in has about 100+ employees, all for the same company. I've just finished an entire morning with my team and some company ABC's managers, directors, and VPs. I decided to take a short break to grab a coffee at the cafeteria downstairs. On my way to the elevator, a lady in her mid-40s, we'll call her CL, short for corporate lady, and M for me, called towards my directions, and it went like this.
CL, hey, you, come here.
I completely ignored her as I didn't think she was trying to get my attention, so I kept on walking towards the elevator. Now, in my peripheral vision, I see the CL speed walking towards me and immediately got into my personal space in seconds.
CL, hey Junior, I'm talking to you. How dare you ducking ignore me?
Note that I'm in my late 20s, but thanks to my Asian gene, I look like I'm 18 to 20. Which is probably why bouncers at bars always triple check my ID. My visitor pass is also clipped to my belt. Me, thinking I misheard that she cussed at me. I'm sorry, what did you say?
CL, are you as incompetent as your DAF? Go to IT and let them know my computer is having issues with printing. And while you're at it, grab me some, forgot what supply she wanted, from downstairs.
Me, well, sorry miss, but I don't work for you. I'm just trying to get a coffee.
CL, so ducking what? As an intern, you should be listening orders from all seniors level people. Also, you shouldn't be on coffee break when everybody else are working.
Me, wait, what? No, you don't understand. CL immediately cuts me off.
CL, listen kid, you get that crap done right now. I'm gonna report you to your manager for poor teamwork and ignoring helps of others.
Me, first you need to talk calmly and politely. Then you need to understand that I don't. She cuts me off again.
CL, I am the manager and you are not. Now, I don't want to hear your lazy butt excuses. Just get it done ASAP. I have an important meeting in the afternoon.
She storms off right after. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do what she asked, so I just shrugged it off and got my warm, caffeinated lover. Also, I know one issue to bring up on why the company is losing young talent so quickly. The afternoon meeting starts again, and we're to meet with a new set of managers from other departments. Lo and behold, CL enters the room muttering something with a director or VP, I can't remember. She looked at me and immediately said,
CL, yeah, that is the kid who didn't get my crap fixed, so I don't have all the files already. Why the hell is he here?
I guess the moment she said that, something clicked in her head and she realized I'm not with the company, but rather the people they pay a hefty bill rate for. I explained the situation briefly because I want to get the current day agenda out of the way and said we can speak with the HR after the meeting to clear up the issue. CL sat through the meeting without really saying a single word unless we ask her questions directly regarding her department. I am certain that she got in a ton of trouble with the HR and her supervisors as I didn't see her for the remaining 3 weeks I was there. All of her department information were handled by a guy who supposedly reports to her. TLDR, Opie gets mistaken for an intern, yelled at, cussed at by a manager at the company that hired Opie's team. Man, that superiority complex is really something. The third post by u/Wyatt Kelly. I don't work here, and a venomous manager tried to write me up for it. Oh boy, I'm tired of being recognized. I live in a relatively small podunk college town with 3 grocery stores, a dying mall, and a slightly decent downtown. Because I work in one of those grocery stores in a pharmacy, I'm often identified when I'm out and about, and for some reason, I just look like I work there wherever this mythical there is. This took place a few years ago, and since the manager is no longer with the store, I think I can write it up without retribution. I've got long hair, a beard, I'm a bit on heavy side, and I normally wear rock t-shirts and a leather biker jacket when I'm not at work. I wear this like armor, as I'm actually very passive and I don't want to be bothered when I'm out and about. I look tough, but there's nothing tough about my marshmallow soul. I've just finished watching a movie at our local dying mall, having gone myself since I just wanted to get away for a while, and I'm currently wearing a Dr. Who's hoodie and jeans, hair down, and Guns N' Roses t-shirt. As I'm exiting the theater, I hear that dreaded voice, the entitled call from the snooty customer. Hey, you! I turn around and see your average soccer mom with bleach blonde hair and a purse big enough to brain a camel carrying a large collection of trash. She's holding the trash with one hand, her struggling child with the other, and stares at me pointedly. I don't want to believe what's about to happen, but I steel myself. Oh, yes?
Throw this away!
No please, no asking, just a demand. I glance to a trash can that's only 5 feet from where she's standing. Why? Oh, you think I just offered to split her child in half in front of her with a broadsword?
You work at big box store, you're used to this.
Amazing. She knows I don't work there, but she still thinks I'm put on this earth to serve her. I just roll my eyes and turn away, scooting towards the bathroom. Sorry ma'am, gotta pee. And I do just that, taking a quick leak and a long time washing my hands. By the time I exit, the woman and her kid are gone. I figured that is all going to happen with this. Just some entitled person who thinks that I work in retail, she can just treat me like an indentured servant. Oh boy, was I wrong. 2 days later, I'm back at work, cleaned up, hair in a ponytail, in uniform, just doing my things, slinging drugs at the pharmacy, when one of our most hated managers shows up. Let's call her Gladys. Mostly cause the antagonist of Portal is how she's always seemed to me. Passive-aggressive, snobby, and more than happy to toss her weight around.
What, Kelly? Would you come with me, please?
I'm a bit shocked, since I've not been in trouble with this job for over 5 years, and my mind immediately starts spinning through anything I may have done in the past weeks or so. Gladys takes me back to the manager office, pick up some paper, and has a seat.
What, Kelly? I had a complaint about you the other day from a customer.
I sink down, trying not to shake with panic. Oh, what have I done?
She says you were very rude to her at the movie theater the other day and refused to help her.
Silence. I just blinked a few times at Gladys. I'm sorry, what? Gladys repeats the accusations.
When you work for this company, you represent us, even when you're not on the clock. Now, I'm only going to give you a coaching, but I want you to watch what you do in the future.
No. Gladys looks back at me in shock. Did I just say no to her?
What do you mean no?
I said no. I'm not taking a coaching for something that happened off the clock. I lean forward, folding my hands in my lap and glaring at her. Why are there no other managers here? Why is my pharmacy manager not here? Shouldn't he be here when I'm being coached by someone that's not even over my department? Speaking of which, where is our department manager? Could you show me where in the Code of Conduct handbook it says that I cannot refuse to clean up after someone when I'm not on the clock? Doesn't it say in the training videos we watch when we start not to work off the clock? Gladys is doing her best impression of gaping fish by this point, eyes wide and staring back at me. I don't think she was expecting the happy-go-lucky nerd in the pharmacy to take such a hard line and not just roll over to her casual mockery. I stood up and opened the door. If you want to take it up with my manager, please do. But do know that if I hear anything about this, I'll take this all the way to the store manager, your boss, corporate if I have to. I left shaking with anger. I'd heard others in the store talking crap about this manager before and how she tried to toss her weight around, but I'd never had it happen to me before. I don't know if the original customer was a friend of Gladys and she thought she'd get some revenge, but I never heard anything else on the matter. 2 months later, Gladys was let go in a store restructuring. Every other manager was shifted or reassigned, but she was the only one to be shown the door. I mean, if I'm required to help people outside of work, you're paying me overtime. The fourth story, I don't give a dang about your kid. I made the mistake of wearing khakis and a red shirt into Target once. I got asked so many questions, but I just laughed it off. One lady though, I was looking at makeup and this lady with her small child came running up to me. She asked where the bathrooms were and I told her I had no idea. She went from 1 to 100 and started screaming her child was about to have an accident, so I better to get on my radio and figure the duck out. I said, I don't work here and frankly, I don't give a dang about your kid. She went stomping off, so I went to grab groceries. As I'm wheeling up to pay, the lady taps on my shoulder and says gleefully, "Remember me? You're getting fired." I look over to the manager, who looks at me and says, "I don't recognize you, do you work here?" When I said no, he looked really exhausted and said, "I'm sorry ma'am, enjoy your day." The crazy lady was still insisting he fire me as I was leaving. Poor guy. I've never made that fashion mistake again. But like seriously, who doesn't know where the bathrooms at Target are? On to the final story by u/Fire Investigator 113. There was a fire, and no, you cannot have a cheeseburger. I am a fire investigator for insurance company. A few days ago, I was at a fire at a super common fast food restaurant, helping another investigator process the scene and dig. All the fun parts of my job without any of the responsibility or report writing. It was so cold, if you farted too wet, your butt hair would freeze. So, I was in black coveralls and my black Carhartt with a baseball hat and a regular N95 mask because fires and fast food restaurants are gross, you know. I looked in no way like a restaurant employee. Even with the black clothes, you could tell I was covered in soot and debris. And what restaurant employee wears an N95 that's been stained black? I was standing outside in the parking lot with another investigator that was there and we were chatting, taking a break from being in the grossness from inside. The parking lot has been filled with debris. On one end of the parking lot, there's a 9-foot tall pile of random burnt crap. On the other end of the parking lot in front of the drive-thru are all the roof ventilation systems that are half burnt and melted in a big pile along with a whole assortment of burnt crap. There's caution tape everywhere. There's fire debris haphazardly strewn throughout the area. There's a very visible hole burnt in the top of this building. There's a dang fire engine packed at one entrance of the parking lot with their lights on blocking the entrance. There was no way to misunderstand what had happened at this building. A man in an old van drives by with his window down, slowly staring at us. He has this inquisitive look on his face. He drives past the first entrance, then attempts to turn into the entrance blocked by the fire engine. He backs out, turns around, then turns back into the other entrance, headed right for us. I say the other investigator wisely caught onto what was about to happen and whispered, "Good luck," and hauled Bud back inside, leaving me alone with the van guy. Ducker. Anyway, van guy drives around a big butt pile of ash and stops in front of me. He says, "Hey, what happened here?" And I replied, for what feels like the millionth time in my career, "There was a fire." And he says, "Oh, what started it?" And for the millionth time, I replied, "That's what we're here to find out." He says, "Oh, okay. Well, can I have a cheeseburger and a medium fry?" Trying very hard not to say what I truly wanted to say, which was some variation of, "Tramp, do I look like a fast food worker?" I told him that no, there was a fire, you can't have a cheeseburger. He then proceeded to ask, "Well, can I have a large Coke then?" Again, no, there was a fire, you can't have a ducking Coke. You know, how can you see when someone has a moment where they have a moment and it finally clicks? This guy had that. He looks at me and asks very intently if I work there. I say, "No, I'm here investigating the fire." He then asks, "I'll never forget it." "So they're closed, but why?" Feeling like I've met the universe dentist star, I replied because there was a fire. He finally just says, "Oh, okay, well, bye," and just drives away and out of my life. I'm still not sure if he truly understood why he couldn't have his food. I walk back inside and the a-hole who had left me there to deal with Jacques Clouseau himself is standing there and just asks how it went, because I work with buttholes. How do people like that even survive on a daily basis? That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.